Well, greetings from Court Helicopter. The public has seen quite a number of issues arising out of Alliance Girls fiasco, where a teacher by the name Ayiro is being alleged to have had multiple sexual intercourse with his students. The PS has ordered for his arrest, and the civil society is up in arms. But what is the law? Explainer from Court Helicopter, which comes every Saturday and Sunday, will be giving you the story, but from our angle, what is the law? The law applicable in this matter is what is called as the Sexual Offences Act. Previously, there was no Sexual Offences Act. There was the Penal Code, but Parliament consolidated all offences under coming into the sexual realm into one law called the Sexual Offences Act. The first issue is to be determined is these offences happened long time ago, according to the students or the alumni of Alliance Girls High School, who are saying these offences have been done for long. Does the law allow the DCI and investigative agencies to deal with that question now? Yes. Under the Penal Code and under the criminal law, there is no limitation for an offense when it was committed. An offense that was committed 1930, an offense that was committed 1920, an offense that was committed last year, there is no timeline for that offense. The offense only has a timeline when the perpetrator is dead. So the DCI will have to investigate this matter, and if any criminal liability is found or culpability, the teacher will be arrested. Let us look at the offenses that are likely to be preferred against the teacher. We go straight away to Section 5 of the Sexual Offences Act. The first offense we have got to agree is that under Section 2, under the Article 260 of the Kenyan Constitution, a child is defined as somebody who is below the age of 18. All those students were in school, and therefore there is a general presumption that they were minors and they were below 18 years. Section 5 defines an offense called sexual assault, where the ingredients of that is unlawful penetration with the body of a person or by use of objects. If he's found guilty, the law provides that he'll be jailed for 10 years, a minimum of 10 years, and life imprisonment. The second offense that he is likely to be investigated and upon found is Section 6 of the Sexual Offences Act, where it is said, if one compels or induces indecent acts. What does the law provide for indecent act? Where an adult makes the child to do some things that the child does not want, which are more sexual. He will be jailed with a minimum of 5 years, a minimum imprisonment of 5 years, or life imprisonment. Section 7 provides for an offense which is unlawful rape or indecent acts with a view of a family. So if he touched the breasts of these girls, if he touched the private parts of these girls, he will face a minimum of 10 years imprisonment. Section 8 defines what an offense called defilement. Defilement is sexual penetration with a minor. Mark it very clearly. Section 8 defines the offense of defilement, which is penetration. 1. For a child aged 11 years and below, he will be jailed for life. For a child aged between 12 years and 15 years, he will be imprisoned for a period not less than 20 years. For a child aged between 16 to 18, he will be imprisoned for a period not less than 15 years. Remember, in the Supreme Court of the case of Murwatetu, the courts put it very clearly that the mandatory sentences provided for in sexual offenses cannot be reduced. So the minimum sentences are imposed for children as found in Section 8 of the Sexual Offences Act. Section 9, if he attempted, but he did not penetrate, that is attempted defilement, he will be jailed for 10 years, a minimum of 10 years. In Section 11, if he did any indecent act with a child, touching a child and other issues, for a child who is below 10 years, imprisonment for life. So that is the position. Section 12 provides for promotion of sexual offenses with a child. If he did any promotion for commercial purposes or for videography, for pornography, he will be jailed for 5 years or an imprisonment or a fine of Kenya shillings 500,000. Section 15 provides for what the law calls child prostitution. If this teacher went to these children and did prostitution with those children, he will be imprisoned for a period not less than 10 years. Section 16 is child pornography. If he made material for the purpose of videos, for the purpose of transmitting those materials on his laptop or on his phone to sending to other people, if he did that, he'll be imprisoned for an imprisonment of not less than 6 years with a fine of at least Kenya shillings 500 years. If he repeated, he'll get an imprisonment of 7 years without an option of a fine. That is Section 16. Section 23 of the Sexual Offences Act deals with the question of sexual harassment. Did he harass these children? Did he in any manner expose these children to being uncomfortable? That is what you call sexual harassment. If he's found with that, he will be imprisoned with a minimum of 3 years plus a fine of Kenya shillings 100,000 or both. Section 24 deals with the sexual offenses relating to position of authority and persons in position of trust. Section 24 is very, very critical in this matter. Anybody in authority over a child, authority over a woman, authority over a boy child. A teacher has authority over the students. A magistrate has authority over the litigants. A police officer has authority over the inmates that he has been arrested. A priest, a religious leader has authority over the people he is administering, the congregation. Therefore, if he had authority as this teacher, who was given the authority by the Teacher Service Commission over his children, and he made sexual advances by virtue of his authority, then that person, the teacher, will be jailed for a minimum of not less than 10 years. In Section 26, it deals with the question, in the sexual engagement, did he ever transmit a sexually transmitted disease, whether it's HIV whether it is gonorrhea, whether it's syphilis. If he did, and any of these children is found to have contracted that disease, then he'll be jailed for a minimum of 15 years or a life imprisonment. Section 27, which is the last section, is administering a substance with intent, what Kenyans know nowadays, which is called kuwekewa mchele. Did the teacher administer any stupefying substance to make these girls have sex with him, without the girl's consent? If he stupefied them, or kama aliwekea mchele, the minimum is 10 years imprisonment. Those are the offenses that are likely to be investigated. The second limb of our explainer is the mode of investigation. One, the complainants must go and make a report to the police station. Once they have made a report to the police station, the DCI will take statements from them. They will also be taken samples and the evidence gathered. The teacher or the person who is the suspect will be summoned to record a statement, and if the evidence is found, then that person, one, shall be arrested, because that is a criminal offense, brought to court, and be charged with the possibility of the offenses that we have done. Number two, the teacher being a public servant employed by the Teachers Service Commission. The Code of Regulation demands that one does not have carnal knowledge of a minor or a student he or she is supposed to be teaching. Therefore, the TSC Code of Conduct shall act immediately. He will be interdicted. He will be taken through the professional disciplinary process, and if found guilty, he will be dismissed and be put on the register of the Teacher Service Commission, that he will never at any one time be employed to serve either as a teacher in a public school or a teacher in a private school. Lastly, if one is convicted of any sexual offense in this country, his name is put into a register. That register is a register kept by the DCI and by the judiciary forever. That person can never get a certificate of good conduct. That person can never be employed anywhere, and that person always is considered a serious threat to the minors, and no child shall be entrusted to be there. That is the law, and that is the law from Court Helicopter, where we run this program every Saturday and Sunday. And the question is, but what is the law? The answer is found in Court Helicopter. Keep viewing and keep watching every Saturday and Sunday, Court Helicopter. But what is the law? Dunstan Omari, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, giving back to the community, because I have a duty to teach the public and to disseminate knowledge of the law to those who do not